Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I have a refeed day today. I know there's a lot of videos already out there about refeed days, but I figured I'd just sit down and give you guys my thoughts on refeed days and why I personally love them. So in this video, we're gonna go over what they are, the purpose of them, how to do a refeed, and why you might wanna consider trying one for yourself. All right, so what is a refeed day? A refeed day is a day that you can take every once in a while during your dieting or your weight loss phase where you increase your daily calories to at or slightly above your maintenance level in the form of carbohydrates. So as you know, carbohydrates are stored in your muscles as glycogen, and they are your body's primary source of energy. And during a weight loss phase or dieting phase, it's normal for these glycogen levels to get depleted. And if you know what being depleted feels like, you know it sucks. A refeed day is meant to re-up on that glycogen in your muscles, give you more energy, get you back on your feet, and that's why a refeed day can be good. A refeed day is not a cheat day. It's calculated, and if you do it right, it will not set you back and hurt your weight loss goals. A refeed day is not just going out and binging on pizza and burgers and stuff. That's a cheat day, right? A refeed day can kind of feel like a cheat day sometimes, but it's actually helping you. It's refilling those muscle glycogen stores. So to do a refeed day, you want to manipulate your macros by lowering your fat and maybe even lowering your protein a little bit and increasing your carbs quite a bit. The purpose of this is to kind of keep the calories in check, but get those extra carbs in. So for example, this is right off the top of my head, I'm just making numbers up. Say your macros are 200 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fats. I don't know what that equals in calories, but let's just say that's your macros. For a refeed day, you wanna double to triple your carbohydrate intake for that day and then lower your fats. Your refeed day might be 170 grams of protein, 500 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fat, right? So 500 grams of carbs is over double your normal carbohydrate intake. So that is gonna do a ton to refill your glycogen stores, but then dropping those fats and that protein just a little bit is gonna help you keep your calories in check. I know that going too low on the fats is unhealthy, but this is just one day for the purpose of kind of like this refuel, right? One day isn't gonna hurt you. It's not gonna crash your hormones. You don't wanna eat 30 grams of fat every single day, but one day won't hurt you. Same with protein. So dropping your protein a little bit can work to help you keep your calories in check on a refeed day. Carbohydrates are anti-catabolic or muscle sparing. So eating those extra carbs will help you to maintain the muscle while you're eating slightly lower protein. And this is just one or 2 days. Refeed days kind of take some testing. You got to find out what works best for you. You got to find out how many carbs is good to refill. Maybe 500 grams for you is good. Like you eat 500 grams of carbs a day and you're like, holy shit, like I feel amazing. I'm ready to get back on my normal diet and stuff like that. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe you eat 500 grams of carbs depending on your stature and you're like, this didn't do anything. So maybe take two in a row, two of these days in a row, or maybe take like a day where you eat 800 grams of carbs, right? It takes some testing, but the general idea is eat a ton of excess carbs to refill the muscles and glycogen stores. So let's talk about why I love refeed days so much and some benefits and also cons of refeed days, so then you can decide for yourself if you want to try one out. First of all, I personally love refeeds because I think they help a ton with diet adherence. A thing that I'm really gonna start talking more about is how much of a mental game that weight loss is. It's all mental. Let's be honest. Everybody knows what they have to do to lose the weight. It's so hard to actually do it because it's so hard to stay dialed in mentally. Refeed days, they kind of help with that because if you do it right, you're not hurting your progress at all. But if you take like one every 2 weeks or so, they give you something to look forward to, like, extra calories, extra energy, some foods I don't regularly get to eat. It makes you want to stay more dialed on your diet because, you have something to look forward to instead of just, here's a diet, I got to eat this every single day, same exact thing for 4 months straight, all right? Like that sucks. If you have they can kind of give you like a little bit of a break and something to look forward to. I personally love that. I think it helps a ton with diet adherence. It personally helps me a ton with diet adherence. Refeed days can kind of feel like a cheat day. Like this is not a normal meal for me. This is pretty crazy. 2 bagels with a banana sliced up and put on them with some jam. So it's all carbohydrates, right? A little bit of protein from the bagels and then almost like no fat. I think there's like 3 grams of fat in this whole entire meal. That is a refeed meal. Just a ton of carbohydrates. I think there's like 170 grams of carbs in that meal or something like that, right? And then later I'm gonna have like pancakes and some stuff and then a ton of rice and just a ton of carbs. Think on refeed days, carbs no fat. I'm not one to demonize food or anything, but on a refeed day, you want to stay away from fat, right? You want to keep the fats low to keep the calories in check. Do not use refeed days as just an excuse to go off the rails and eat whatever you want. That's not what a refeed day is. You have to stay disciplined. You have to know why you're doing it. And if you do that, you can enjoy your refeed day. Like, I'm gonna smash on these bagels. They're gonna be amazing, right? It would not be a refeed meal if I made this into like pizza bagels and put like pasta sauce and a ton of cheese on there and pepperoni and whatever, right? Be real with yourself, don't lie to yourself. And then the second reason that I personally love refeed days is due to the like glycogen stores. So being depleted sucks. If you know what it feels like, it is not a good feeling. You just feel like death, and refeed days help out so much with that. If you get super depleted, you know how bad it feels, and then you get that refeed day, and the next like week or so, you're just like, you're on top of the world. Your glycogen stores are refilled, you got energy, you want to go to the gym. They help you look better because your muscles are fuller if you're lean enough. But that's why I personally love refeed days. So there's a couple other reasons that people talk about why refeed days are good. One of them is increased leptin levels. So leptin is one of the hormones that plays a role in your hunger and your eating cues. So if you're a healthy person with regular bodily functions, your leptin levels are directly correlated to the amount of body fat you have. Now, the more leptin you have, the less hungry you are. The less leptin you have, the more hungry you are, and the more your body craves food and wants to eat. So as you get lower and lower on the body fat percentage, the less and less leptin you have, making your body want more food. Now, it's been argued that refeed days can help like boost those leptin levels, right? And Dr. Lane Norton talked about this a little bit in one of his talks about refeed days. Yes, excess carbohydrates will boost those leptin levels, but only really for that day, right? And then they're just gonna go right back to normal. And I personally can like see the same thing. Generally, like maybe the day after I'm a little bit less hungry, but then right as I'm back on my diet, my caloric deficit, the same hunger's back. So it doesn't really play a big role or have a huge impact in that aspect, in my opinion, from my own personal experience. Another reason that people argue that refeed days are good is due to your metabolism, and that it can help with keeping that maintenance level high. So, you know, as you're in a caloric deficit and you're dieting, your caloric maintenance level will drop as you eat less and less food. And having a refeed day every now and again, say it's like every week or two, can help keep that maintenance level higher. So I honestly, from my personal experience, think that this is true. I've done a lot of diets and a lot of different caloric deficits. I know for a fact that I typically will lose weight longer on a certain calorie amount if I have refeed days scheduled every week or two. And right now I take a refeed every single Saturday. I can say from personal experience that my fat loss plateaus seem to happen a lot more frequently when I don't have that refeed. So say you're eating like 2,000 calories, for example, and you're losing weight, and then you take a refeed day and then you continue eating 2,000 calories, you're losing weight. Versus if you don't take that refeed day, you may plateau at 2,000 and then just have to cut your overall calories even lower. So I think that this is like kind of individual specific. Different people respond differently. Everybody has a different metabolism, right? But I think they help me a lot, and that could be a reason you might want to try a refeed day for yourself. Now there's the other side that argues that refeed days are stupid and pointless, and they say you're in a caloric deficit, you're aiming to lose weight, just get it done, right? I think it's individual specific. I think if you're really depleted and you're like just on the edge of giving up and you're feeling like crap, I think a refeed day may help you a lot. If you are really mentally strong and you feel like you can, like you just want to get this done, you want to keep dieting, like you think a refeed day will just set you back or stall your progress, sure. I think, like I said, it's all individual specific. I'm just giving you the pros of why you may want to try one. But that is an argument that people make, is like, it's just worthless, it's stupid. Now I want to talk about two big mistakes about refeeds. So one, I already talked about a little bit, is refeed days are not cheat days. They're not just go off the rails and you eat whatever you want days, right? Refeed days are very calculated, and if you do them correctly, they are just going to help you. Now, if you were to just go out and cheat and eat a bunch of crumble cookies or donuts or pizza or whatever, that's just bad news. That's gonna hurt you. Don't do that. Don't use refeeds as an excuse to go out and binge. Like that's stupid. If you calculate it, if you do it properly, refeed days will help you. Don't be one of those guys that's gonna be like, let's take a refeed day, bro. Let's go get pizza. Like, all right, you're just cheating on your diet at that point, all right? Another thing is you have to be honest with yourself on whether or not you truly need a refeed. So if you're just like feeling like, oh man, I could really go for like some extra food right now, but you don't really need that refeed, like you're not really getting depleted, that is just gonna hurt you because you don't need that glycogen refill. So typically, like people that are really overweight, they don't need refeed days all that often, like just being honest with you. The leaner you are, the more refeed days that you're gonna need. So right now, I'm running a high carb diet and I'm in a slight caloric deficit right now. But the way I train is like a really high glycogen depletion training style. Like I'm doing a ton of volume that just like depletes me really fast. So since I don't have a lot of body fat and I'm doing that training style, I burn through all of my carbs really, really fast and I often find myself depleted. Now, if you're overweight and you're just trying to like lose some weight, I don't know, you really got to be honest with yourself. Like refeed days are not going to help you if you don't need them. They're just going to hurt you. Those excess calories, if you don't need that glycogen boost, are going to be stored as fat. So you have to be honest with yourself. Those are my two biggest things is like one, a refeed day is not an excuse to just go off the rails and eat whatever you want. Two, a refeed day should only be taken when you truly need it. And you'll know what it feels like if you're depleted, if you're just exhausted, your lifts are going down, you're finding it hard to like, I don't know, do some simple task like walk across the house, you're like just too exhausted, okay, maybe consider a refeed day. But if you're just like wanting some extra food but you're really fine as far as energy level goes, sorry, a refeed day is just gonna hurt you and it's just an excuse to eat more food. So I hope this helped clear up any questions about refeed days. I personally give them to my clients when they need them. I am a supporter of refeed days, but at the same time, I truly believe that refeed days should not be taken that often if you really don't need them. I think it's important to be honest with yourself. If you need some help with losing weight, I am a diet and fat loss coach. I can help you with that. Go ahead and click the link in the description for that. I work one-on-one with people to build them plans, keep them accountable, give them refeed days when they need it, and just teach people all about how fat loss works. And my number one goal is to change people's lives in the aspect of nutrition, fat loss, and just overall health. I also recently released my new fat loss course, which is a no BS guide to exactly how fat loss works and how to build a plan for yourself. Check that out if you're unfamiliar with how fat loss works, because there is one way that fat loss works. All the other stuff out there ranting about metabolism boosting foods and secret magic tricks, it's all BS. There's one way that fat loss works. It's really, really simple, and that is why I called it Stupid Simple Fat Loss. So that's also linked in the description if you're interested. If you have any questions about my videos, video suggestions for me, drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content just like this, because there's more on the way. And until next time, peace, love.